Hey, Pat Rigsby here, and in today's episode, I want to talk with you about why things feel harder than they should. Let's get to it. One thing that I've heard from a number of gym owners just in the last probably 6 or 8 months is that things just feel kind of challenging, right? And a lot of these are owners who've been in the industry for 5, 10, maybe even 15 or 20 years. And they just feel like, man, the landscape's getting harder. And I don't think they're wrong. I think the landscape has matured. When I got into the fitness industry, the industry just wasn't very mature. I kind of like to say that you just didn't know any retired personal trainers at that point. It was just a really young industry. And for somebody like myself, I felt like that was an advantage. I thought that was a great way to gain a lot of ground in a hurry, to be able to take advantage of the fact that maybe there wasn't this established hierarchy. There was the opportunity to just do good work and gain ground fast. But over time, the industry matured just like every other industry has. And now the competition is far more dense. There are countless franchises. When I first got into this industry, there was basically one training-based franchise, and everybody else was health clubs. And now there are dozens of group training franchises, kind of boutique fitness franchises. So there's so much more competition in each respective market. The cost of doing business has gone up. Obviously, labor costs have gone up. Cost of space has gone up. And then in some other ways, the cost of business has gone up because early on, the need to be a strong operator, to be an adept marketer, they just weren't prerequisites, right? But now, because we have like franchises really playing a big role in the space, all of the franchises are driven by marketing. They're in high traffic real estate, Class A real estate usually, and so they have a lot of intrusive visibility. The franchise almost always has some sort of minimum marketing or advertising spend requirement because most franchises are paid on royalties that are percentage based. So they obviously want you to have a higher top line so they get more money paid to them. So we know that that's going to be the competition. The competition is going to be really, really visible. They're going to be marketing very aggressively. And just wasn't the case a while back. It wasn't the case as recently as maybe 2017, 2018, 2019. It wasn't anything quite like this. But now it's table stakes. Like, you have to be visible. You have to operate like an owner. You have to be on top of your numbers because the margins get thinner and thinner if you don't. And it's not enough just to be good at what you do and hope that word of mouth and the occasional referral promotion or the one-off kind of marketing tactic you deploy work. And so, that I think it's good and bad. I think the things I come back to when I first started this, I remember very vividly people talking about being a six-figure trainer. Six-figure trainer meaning that your business grossed six figures. And the reality is, if your business grosses six figures now and just cracks that threshold, and you're not an in-home trainer or a solopreneur, you're probably going to go bankrupt. I mean, there's just no opportunity to invest in space and invest in equipment, even if you're a one person show and actually turn a profit. And just the cost to live, to operate, to function has gone up. And now the standard is more like, hey, you know what? If you're going to put everything that you have to put into being a business owner, you need to have an income of six figures. And that doesn't mean there aren't plenty of people that are happy with incomes that are less than that. But I'm saying that if you're going to take the responsibility that comes with being a business owner and the risk and potentially go into debt, sign your name on lease, all those things, then realistically the reward should pay out a little bit more than if you took more of a security-based career path. So it is more challenging. And that may not be a bad thing because The days of somebody just being able to walk out into the park and say that that's where they host their boot camp have probably passed. The barrier to entry has gone up. The standard has gone up in some ways, and it's only going to continue to go that way. Maturity is a little bit of a thinning of a herd when it comes to an industry. It means that the people who just were getting by, who were not doing a great job as an owner, they're going to get weeded out over time. But it also means that the market itself has matured. And when I first got into the fitness industry, a really small percentage of the market had actually ever experienced some sort of coaching or training environment. Sure, at that point, about 13% of the market in the United States belonged to a fitness facility, according to like IRSA at the time. And almost all of that was like a health club or some sort of community recreation center. Very little of it was personal training. And most of the personal training that was going on at that point was going on inside a big box health club. Prepaid sessions, packages. It was definitely not much of a career path. It was more like a transitional job before somebody found their long-term career. Now we see countless business owners building really substantial careers. I mean, I know just in our ecosystem, we have plenty of people who have been able to not only build financial security, but build wealth, create freedom for themselves, operate like a business owner probably wants to operate, where they do have the ability to take time off, the ability to balance personal and professional, the ability to put money away for long-term financial security and wealth building, the ability to scale and not only create jobs for other team members, but create multiple locations. And we've seen it time and time again. So I think that's great for the people who want to move forward, but that's kind of the direction this is going. There are standards, and there have been in all these established industries that we're familiar with, or established professions, right? If you think about most other kind of white collar service professions, there was a maturing of that created better opportunities for the people who stuck with it and were willing to kind of raise the way they operated, but it also weeded out the people who are just kind of dabbling. So if you've felt that things are getting a little bit more challenging, I don't think that's an inaccurate observation. And I think it's kind of a mixed bag. It means that if you want to be successful in today's market, and maybe just as importantly in future markets, you're going to have to evolve. You're going to have to become a business owner, not just a trainer or coach who happens to be self-employed. And that means learning some of the things that go along with business ownership and becoming comfortable with those things, and understand that successful businesses, they install systems, they operate in a systematic way, and they probably are a little less fly by the seat of your pants than a lot of us. And I'm saying this knowing that I got in this industry coming from being a college baseball coach, college strength coach, zero business background, didn't have a degree in business, frankly was very uncomfortable with almost all things business at that point, and had to find my way. And I think that's what a lot of us are doing. And that's okay. I think the people who are motivated to do it and are committed to being successful are going to do great. And the other ones, yeah, maybe they become employees for the ones who really lean into business ownership, or maybe they choose a different route. But I think you have to swim with the current, and this is where the current's headed. So if you felt like things were maybe getting a little tougher, it's true, but that doesn't mean there's not opportunities available to you.